Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Grimm from Orchestral Tools. Orchestral Tools have teamed up with Bleeding Fingers Music to take us to the edge of medieval darkness in the form of their new and unique library, Grimm. This set of cinematic tools combines traditional medieval ensembles with cutting-edge contemporary sound design to serve up a set of timbres that can find a home in a wide range of genres. Personally, I say bring on the medieval darkness and get transported to a time when instruments were rough, imperfect and delightful. Grimm downloads at 40GB SignArt compressed and runs in the free Orchestral Tools Sign player. It's currently on sale for €179 plus VAT. In this video, we are going to check out Grimm. We're going to see what the instruments are, what it contains, the different categories, the sound design, and then I've thrown it into the all-important composition. Then we're going to talk about what it's like to compose with, and then I will deliver my closing thoughts. I'd like to take the opportunity at this time to thank Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of Grimm so we can make this video. Of course, while we do get the libraries for free, we do not allow that to influence our thoughts, ideas or judgments on any of the libraries that we feature in our videos. And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We love creating this content and we love showcasing the hard work of the developers. And with that in mind, without further ado, let's check out Grimm. And here we have Grimm loaded up in the Orchestral Tools free sign player. It is of course updated to the latest version, which I do highly recommend. Before we go any further, I'd like to just do a little disclaimer. You may have noticed I've zoomed in quite a lot and I've chopped off the bottom of the keys, so you should still be able to see what I'm playing. The reason being I'm having some bizarre issues with my eyes and everything is getting progressively blurry. It's all gone a little bit puddle of mud. So I need everything as big as I can on the screen, and the sign player is totally resizable, and that is a wonderful feature of the sign player. So I'm trying to do the best I can to make sure I'm being accurate in these videos, and if I do pronounce something a little bit wrong, please go easy on me, because like I say, everything just looks blurry at the moment. Very, very bizarre. Anyway, I want to get it sorted out, so hopefully in a few weeks it'll all be good. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Grimm. That's what we're here for, these medieval soundscapes. So if I click on Browse, we get two folders. We've got Instruments and we've got Processed. If I use the drop-down menu of the Instruments, you can see we have these 6 different folders. Now, Grimm is laid out like a traditional orchestral library. So for brass, we have sackbuts. For the strings, we have the Tagelharper and Baroque violas or Baroque basses, and we've got the hurdy-gurdy and Baroque violin. So that's our string section covered. And then we have the Baroque recorder and flute. So that is our woodwind section covered. So it kind of makes scoring really straightforward, because if you're used to scoring orchestral instruments, there we go, we can layer up. And of course, we got one of the finest lute ensembles I've ever heard in a sampled instrument ever, but we'll talk about that later. And then on Processed, and this is the part where I'm likely to mispronounce some things, we have pads. Now we have all these different pads. These are sound designed soundscapes, and if you just go into the subfolders, there is a single articulation for each one, and it describes what it does. Folder light, I think. Distorted flutes, flutter, and tongue, he says. I think so. Yeah, and it describes what it's going to sound like. And you can see all the different mic options. So I have downloaded all 40GB of the library. We have these impacts as well. And these are sound design, almost like one-shots. So you can see the single hits. And then you get some different articulations there and there. So we're going to look at these in turn, and all I'm going to do is just play a couple of examples from each one. And yes, you do get obviously different mic positions here as well. So let's just go. Yeah, I'll play some layered sustains so we get the idea. And of course I'm using the mod wheel for absolutely everything. Everything's loaded up at 0 dB in my DAW. Okay, so it's layered sustains that they're going to have some dissonance to them. Very, very cool. Love it. If I go sustains, so this is the legato patch. Sounds great. Now, just to show you, you can obviously load up every articulation. It won't take long to load. It's really, really quick. And I'm just streaming this off it's an M2 actually, internally. So if I go on performance, I can just sort of flick through the different articulations. So that's a cluster. We did that one. Sustains and vibrato. Now, of course, if you want to use two faders, CC1 and CC7. Which is generally how I would record. You can hear the differences there. So sustains flat. Sounds lovely. Let's go airy. So the detail is absolutely awesome. I'll do irregular fifths. It's lovely stuff, and I'll do a microtonal cluster. Okay, so we've got all of these different articulations. Now, it will take ages to play all of these, but you get an idea. That's the wind section, as it were, Baroque recorders and flutes. So if we look at the hurdy-gurdy and Baroque violin, so you imagine this is like your high string section. Sounds lovely. Now, when you play it, you will experience what feels like not negative delay, but like a delay from you playing. It's just a sample start. I did find when I was composing, changing those to -120 worked really, really well. So we've got sustains. That sounds great. Just load a few more. Let's do Sforzando microtonal cluster. So it's going to be loud and clustery. There we go. Sounds nice. Sustains with vibrato. Lovely. And let's just do an irregular swell. May need to see a doctor. I don't know. It's yeah. So I was using fourths. If we just look at fifths. Absolutely love it. And let's just hear some harmonics as well. Incredibly delicate. Yeah, I do like those. So you can hear, obviously I've got the library at 0 dB, that there is a slight volume disparity between patches, and that's to be expected. Let's look at the violas and the tagelharper. Let's do some shorts to start off with. Yeah, sounds really good. Now, you can see the range. If you want greater range, I'm exaggerating it quite a lot here, but this is what I love about the sine player. You can stretch the samples. Across the whole range, and it's not just like, it's hard to describe. Like in Contact, if you just load up, if you ever made your own instruments, if you load up your own instruments and you've done loads of sampling and you sampled, I don't know, every other note and you stretch the notes by a semitone, that's kind of okay. And then you think, oh, I want another whole octave, and you just slide the whole thing down. You'll notice a sort of degrading of the original sample. And in Sine Player, I just never hear that. There's nothing like that. I mean, if we go right down, I'll drop an octave. You start getting these really cool, just really low sounds. And then I'm sort of just below the range. I just love that about the Sine Player. So this is staccatissimo. Yeah. So here the Stains. So this is, like I say, the tagelharper and Baroque violas. Of course, with the mod wheel. That just sound fun. So like I say, it is a different ensemble. Now let's just quickly go to the tagelharper cello and Baroque basses. Don't know why I've rolled my R there. Baroque. I'll just decide what to do. I'll just play some sustains first. I mean, that is ominous. Let's do potato slide down. Brilliant. Tremolo sol pon. Yeah, love it. Yeah, so that's the strings. Let's go to sac butt. So of course we're looking at breaths now. Love the room sound. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually load up the entire instrument. Let's choose a few. Got some irregular repetitions. Got staccato. So again, I've not adjusted the volume, but you can hear that biting attack is awesome. Portato fifths, quite low. So you really have that authenticity of medieval instruments going on, which is awesome. Sforzando microtonal cluster. Yeah, you kind of adjust the release with the controls down there, but I'm not going to do that now. Yeah, I can't see them that well, so I don't want to start playing around, so it'll ruin the flow of the video. Sustains, a regular, slides down. Fantastic. And actually my favourite articulation, the sustains airy. They're very, very quiet. It's almost like the kind of flautando of the brass world. There we go. So that's the sackbut ensemble. They sound ace. And you can see across all of the instruments there's extended articulations. Now, the lute ensemble is just amazing. Okay, so every now and then I try to hit this D here, so I'm just going to do that thing where we stretch and we just have a bit more of a playable keyboard. And I'm going to use a sustain pedal. It's actually got to drag it back down. Excuse me. I think they sound amazing. I just love it. I believe it's 3 lutes. I've got a regular vibrato. Some crazy stuff going on there. Tremolo. That stereo spread's incredible. Let's do the crescendo chords. So we've got minors to the left. Majors to the right. Sounds like song lyrics. Staccato, I want to say fourth. Sounds very, very lovely. Sustain fourth. Yeah. I think they sound incredible. So there we go. So that's the lute ensembles. Now there are different microphone patches, mixes. Sorry, just load one up, go into the mixer, and you can adjust the different mics. So you get the general setup. You got the spots, close, and you got the tree. So if I was to turn those off and play the tree, for example, this is Brock recorder and flutes. Sounds great. If I want to mix them close. You know, brilliant. So you can adjust to your heart's content the different mic mixes. I don't want to dwell too much on it, but it is a comment I get because sometimes I forget to mention mic mixes, or with the Orchestral Tools libraries especially, you don't have to download the entire set. So this is 40 gigabytes. Let's say you just want a little bit less due to having a huge amount of hard drive real estate, you can just download the main mixes, for example. But I thought I'd mention it because, you know, it is very important. All of this sampling being done with different microphones, and it sounds great. And I do often stray away from the standard mics and the standard mixes, so it's another thing Orchestral Tools do incredibly well. Let's talk about pads now. I've actually earmarked this one because I can't actually read it. I think it says Foldenite, but it gives you a description of what the pad is. So distorted flutes, flutter tongue. So it's going to have some distortion, sound design going on. Let's just hear what it sounds like. Sounds great, and of course the mod will. So these are designed to be pads, but of course they are they're more soundscapes to me. They got a lot more going on. Very animated. Again, so you had the harmonics and distorted thing. HG, sorry. I don't know. Yeah, then we got this one. Scoria, I think. Now, when this was first announced and I saw the trailer and the advertising material, the soundscapes really stood out for me, like massively. And having used the instrument and played different ones and load them in, yeah, they sound absolutely awesome. I mean, that just sounds like evil. That growl and that release as well, like the reverb. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm only gonna play one more. I always say, you know, you don't want a video review or video overview. There we go. You don't want them to play every single sound because you want to explore yourself. I mean, that is warped in a good way. I think that the soundscapes are absolutely incredible, this library. So that's just a couple of examples. Now you get these single hits. I may need to turn down Sampler. Don't know what I'm going to. Okay, so that's Blades, FD Breath. Gorgon. This is Ghost Stabs. Absolutely love stuff like that. Lovely. Bap Hornet. That's what I see that as. Who knows? well. Yeah, so they sound cool. So this is like the sound design fun. Got some dark fog. Of course, got the mod wheel. Brings up the intensity, which we like. Let's do this one. So that's some serious low end going on there. And then the last one got some wood hits. These are low hits. Yeah. So, you know, that's sort of invoking horror scoring or something like that for me. I'm not entirely sure, really. It's very low, it's very boomy, very, very bassy, and just sounds delightful, really. So that is the processed section of the library. And I've got to admit, the sounds in Grimm are just so varied and unique. I've not heard this anywhere else before, and that really is a big selling point for me for Grimm. But when you start combining these singular sounds to create your own pads and soundscapes, it gets really, really fun, which is what I'm going to show you in the composition. So the composition, I've just used a couple of the soundscapes. You can use these over and over and over and have lots of fun and create lots of wonderful compositions using them. But I wanted to use the instruments a lot as well. So I've used an instrument from each of the sections. Interestingly, I gave myself 30 minutes to compose this piece of music because I wanted to try Grimm on a in a time frame with a deadline and just see how easy it is to find these sounds, because the sounds are very like unique and different, and they might sound a little bit wibbly and a bit wobbly. And I want to see how everything connects together. So yeah, let's listen to the composition and then we're going to talk about it. But so far, my impressions of Grimm are it is a fantastic library, just full of unique sounds and timbres. Okay, Maestro, take it away. And that was my 30-minute composition challenge with Grimm. And I have to admit, I got really lucky in the first, I'd say 10 seconds, where I happened upon a nice loop part. And the composition kind of wrote itself after that. And of course, with more time, I'd add more instruments, think about the arrangement, more articulations. I'd change the chord progression, especially at the end. So I kind of just copy and pasted it. And yeah, we get the idea. But I was really, really pleased. Working with Grimm is really, really fun. Now, I set myself a few challenges apart from just having 30 minutes. I only wanted to use 2 of the soundscapes. The soundscapes are incredible. The sound design is amazing, but I wanted to use the playable instruments as well and not have Orchestral Tools doing all the heavy lifting for me. So I've only used 2 of those, and then I've used a full range, so winds, brass and strings. I wanted the lute to be the focal point of the composition. I love the lutes in this library, they are amazing. And then I wanted to add a couple of other instruments from Orchestral Tools that I use frequently. So I've got the Miroir female choir. This is of course a Baroque choir, so it fits perfectly with the medieval soundscapes. Yes, I know medieval came before Baroque, etc., but it's the closest we're going to get at the moment. And then we have Monolith, which is a collaboration with Richard Harvey, and it is one of the best percussion libraries on the market. I'm using it on absolutely everything and only came out probably 6 weeks ago. It all started off with this lute, and it's just playing on its own. Okay, so really simple. We have a lute, and then we have a second lute, but I decided to bring in a boom from Monolith. Really standard. Sounds great though. I love the boom instrument. And then we got the obsidian pad. And I love the darkness and the kind of static energy that pad gives it off. And yes, it sounds a bit like Laura Palmer's theme from Twin Peaks. And Angelo Badalamenti is one of my biggest influences, so that was kind of a accident. Anyway, let's continue. So we have these booms going on, and the second lute joins in. Now, I keep going on about how amazing these lutes are, but just listen to the lutes. They just sound amazing. Now, I've got a bit of velocity. Yeah, you can hit, there's the odd one jumping out here and there, so that's something that I'd quickly tidy up. Well, hey. I'll say I'll tidy it up. There we go. Lovely. So, yeah, the lutes are just gorgeous. Then we have the hurdy-gurdy violins coming in, and they're doubling the melody from the obsidian pad. So yeah, it's medieval soundscapes, but this is like, you know, sort of cutting edge cinematic scoring sounds as well. Oh, that's how I see it anyway. Sounds gorgeous. So you put all that together, and then we've got the female choir. Now I'm playing the same melody as well. It's haunting stuff. So if I just add Grimm and Miroir. It's beautiful. And of course underneath we have the booms. And I had 30 minutes, so I just used the same 2 booms across the entire piece. Yeah. Anyway, the next section. So we got another lute part, and I'm bringing in 2 different, well, a pad and a Baroque recorder and flutes. So that's Saonite pad. So different timbre and recorders and flutes. Which I just copy and pasted and changed the octave. So we go B flat, C, A major. Beautiful. Actually, I think it's a G minor there. Well, it's going to be a G fifth because I was just playing fifths. Yeah, there we go. So it'd be a G minor. G minor on the lute for sure. I should know because I just wrote this piece. So yeah, there we go. Lovely. Now it takes us into our main section, and of course I ran out of time, but I wanted to show the layering capabilities. So we have the pads and we have the sackbut ensemble as well, and it's playing a really, really delicate, I think it's the airy, yeah, the airy articulation. I love this articulation. Okay, so in context, we got the miroir playing the vocal syllables. Absolutely superb. So, let's put this together. Oh, I brought in monolith at this point. In fact, let's hear it without monolith. So let's go solo these off. And there we go. Now it's the same chords and the same parts, but I added some more layers the second time round. So we've got just a contrast here. I'm going to take out the choir just for a moment so you can hear just Grimm. And of course I ran out of time, so I just staggered or did a little glissando for the minor chord. Now, you can hear the difference, but this is just Grimm, and building your own soundscapes and layers and having that control, and of course making it melodic, diatonic as well, works really, really well. And I just love the contrast from, if I just change to on the bar, from here to here. The thickness, but everything sounding gorgeous and melding together is wonderful. Superb. And shout out to the tremolo picking on the lutes. It's a lute ensemble. And you get that stereo spread, but of course it's slightly erratic because it's human, yet it still sounds really, really together. So it just has this kind of like swarm sound. Which I absolutely love. So there we go. Beautiful. Now down here, just to bring in some percussion, I realise actually, just while I'm doing this, I haven't done what I normally do and named everything. So you're going to see actually my copy and pasting, how I've just moved stuff around. Oh well, I had 30 minutes, come on. So yeah, so let's just hear this. This is the monolith big and boomy and the massive low end. They're just doubled, playing the same thing. And when I add the boom to it as well, you get the full range of the ensemble. Sounds absolutely fine. Now, if you remember, we did cover this library on the channel, so you can find it. Probably what is better, because it's all velocity, you don't want to repeat the same notes over and over. So if I had more time, I would have done this. Which obviously sounds better than having the repeated notes. So it is a very good tip if you are a monolith user, and I'm sure you're well aware of it. However, that's what I would have done with a bit more time when I programmed it. However, I didn't. So there we go. And yeah, just combined, everything sounds gorgeous. It's going to go from here again. And there we have it. That is my Grimm 30-minute composition challenge. And I have to admit, I loved the process. I loved composing with Grimm. Loved combining it with other libraries. And of course, it's a really, really simple composition. Lots of copy and paste going on. But it was just really, really quick to work with. And finding the sounds was really, really easy. So composing experience, yes, absolutely wonderful. We are now at the part of the video where I deliver my closing thoughts about Grimm from Orchestral Tools and Bleeding Fingers. And of course, it is a wonderful collaboration. These two masterminds coming together to create this truly unique library. Yes, there are libraries with medieval instruments out there, but not in this style, this fashion, this grandeur, and of course this versatility. You've got the playable instruments, so you can be very melodic, and the sampling is absolutely amazing, and of course those lutes are to die for. And then you have all of the sound design, and you can spend all day just composing with the soundscape patches, for example. They are amazing, they're curated, they again are incredibly unique, and they just really invoke the dark side of medieval music. It's very, very big, it's epic, it's cinematic, it's grand. But of course, you don't have to use this library just for medieval music. You can use it, of course, as I hopefully demonstrated. It's kind of like the Obsidian pad, for example, feels more like a distorted synth, and it sounds fantastic. So I would use that in different types of film music or underscore. I would combine this with orchestral libraries. I don't own the Berlin series. When I was buying up libraries, the first library, the big one that I got was Metropolis Arc 1, and I did buy all of the other arcs, and I use them today. They've been out for quite a few years, but I use all of them. They sound amazing, but I would love to hear Grimm combined on this massive scale with Orchestral Tools flagship libraries, because yeah, the Berlin series just sounds absolutely amazing. So you can combine Grimm with other libraries, and Orchestral Tools make the just amazing themed libraries. So that's kind of where I focus my purchasing, shall we say, just buying the creative sound packs and buying different themed libraries, and they just work beautifully, as my composition hopefully showed you. Everything's seamless. Sign Player is a joy to work with. I love the fact it's resizable. I know for a lot of people that's not a big deal. I do go on about my eyes. My eyes, take my eyes. I've got a bit of an issue at the moment, and I can't see too well. So having Sign Player, like the accessibility, just having to resize it, it's a tiny thing, but actually for me it's a really, really big deal. So working with this was great. Speed, 30 minutes to compose with it. Yeah, the composing experience was absolutely fantastic. So when you're thinking about buying Grimm, you got to think, am I going to use this? Well, yeah, it's versatile, it's big, it's different, it's going to set you aside from the competition. And yeah, it's just really, really good fun to use. So if it is your kind of sound, definitely pick it up. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and for that reason it does come highly recommended. All that leaves me to say is thank you once again to Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of Grimm so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like and a comment on the video. It's been out for a week maybe when this video actually goes live, so maybe you've already bought it. So what are your thoughts about the library, or are you considering picking up Grimm? What do you like about it? What would you use it for? Once you have done that, because we obviously love dialogue on our channel and we do try and reply to everything, feel free to check out our other videos on YouTube. Of course, hit that subscribe button. We love making this content. We've got so much more to make and so much support from the wonderful developers. We just want to show off their hard work, and we do say it, we don't make any money from these videos. There's no affiliate links, there's no advertising deals. We just don't want to go down that route where people think we're getting money, so we're going to say the library is fantastic automatically. We want our genuine opinion to come through, and that's what all of our videos are about, and we're very, very proud of that fact. So to support us, subscribe. It spreads the word of the channel, and yeah, it just, you know, spurs us on to make more content and more videos. So thank you so much for checking out the video, and until next time, have a great day and keep making that beautiful music.